I don't like admitting my fears to people. It's kind of like admitting allergies. You know, we all have people that don't like us. Don't give your enemies your kryptonite. Like, here's my weakness. Like, that's what I feel like fears and allergies are. They're my weakness. It's been a bad week for bridges. Bad week for being a bridge, for being on a bridge, for being associated with bridges. It's just bridges are having a rough week. And unlike the song, these are not London bridges. These are US bridges. Admittedly, my biggest fear, you know, we all have some sort of fear deep down in there. Maybe it's rational, maybe it's not, but everyone's got something. And this is mine. I don't believe in past lives, but if there were a past life, this must have been what took me out, because this has, since I was a child, been a thought, a concern, and in my mind, anytime I have to cross it, if I see if there's a bridge I have to cross, if there's a water body I have to be near, anything, these are my concerns and thoughts. And literally when I'm driving across it, I'm like, you're driving on a bridge, you're doing fine because you're not an idiot. Car veers out of nowhere from the other lane, hits you, knocks you off. You're all of a sudden submerged in the water. You might be submerged, you might be upside down, water's filling into the car. What the heck do you do to get out of that? Obviously, even if you're thinking rationally and doing everything like right, like seatbelt off. Okay, what if the door won't open because, you know, there's a pressure issue now? Can't roll your windows down. Where first you're disoriented, you might be upside down. Second of all, it's not manual, it's automatic. Button pushing things aren't working. Okay, so we got the safety hammer, right? We're good? No, because the windows on especially cars like my van and a lot of modern cars have this sound barrier to them, and they don't just break or shatter when you hit them in the right spot. They only do that weird thing where like they'll crack a little and fragments will come off. Same with the windshield. All right, let's say somehow we did manage to get one of those busted out or something. Well, we gotta quickly, we have to get out super fast. What if your family's in there? How there's no possible way of rescuing them? Okay, well, let's say hopefully they're not, and it's just you, and you manage to do that, you're out. Now what? Now what? You managed to, you gotta get out of the car, you gotta know which way's up, you gotta get out, okay, you're up. What if there's nothing to hold on to now, and you're just there trying to like doggy paddle your way to nothing? There's a lot here for me. My biggest fear is being like that person trapped in a vehicle, specifically trapped in a vehicle in a body of water and being unable to get out and slowly having to like drown. That is that's been my fear since I was a child. Literal nightmare fuel for me is that. I don't fear much other things. Honestly, I fear to be irrational. But this one, I feel like one of the things is I can't write it off as irrational. So it just stays. Want to know how to torture and off me? That's the way I don't want to go. I'm like willing to accept many other things. But that one is the no. I don't like the thought of that. So obviously Baltimore, there was that major bridge collapse, which is like horrific to watch. This is a huge tragedy impact on the area, and also like the economic impact is huge. That's a major shipping port. But and people did lose their lives. But all things considered, it still wasn't like so like watch that. The fact that I think they were saying like 6 people when missing from that, and the fact that it's not more is insane. Like thankfully it happened in the middle of the night. But that is my biggest fear, and this has been for me ever since I was a kid, you know, traveling, especially living in Jersey, going to New York and stuff. There's a lot of bridges, a lot of big bridges you have to travel across, and it's just always I'm like white knuckles holding on. Like I don't like the idea of these bridges. I don't. And the same thing, like, okay, well, you can take, you know, sometimes there's a tunnel. That's pretty scary too, I must say. It might be scarier. I don't know, one of those weird species that just doesn't like crossing the water. When I get to it, I'm like, ooh. Impassable. Never been on a cruise. I've flown over the water, and I definitely kind of had to like relax myself about that too. But you know, I've gone to Hawaii, which required obviously flying over a lot of water, and yeah, I can't. For me, that's like the thing. That's the scary thing. And I don't know, I just feel like even these like modern marvels, these engineered bridges, I'm sure they are, to every engineer that built them, like amazing and safe and everything, but I think they need a backup system. Like, why just be a suspension bridge if you can be both? Why not have a backup system down below so you're not only suspended, you also have your little, you know, your little peggies in there. So if one thing fails, the backup's there. Or same thing if it's mostly reliant on the supports in the ground and the water. Why not have a backup suspension bridge system up ahead? Maybe there's a reason for it. I don't know, but personally, I like that backup idea. Because otherwise, if things fail, they fail. I have some bridges, smaller bridges, but little bridges by me right now. There's like lakes and stuff, and I was trying to get myself. I was like, this is silly, Liz. Just cross there. Don't go 20 minutes out of your way to avoid the bridge. Just go the direct route and take the bridge. And I was like psyching myself up for it, but now I'm back to that whole thing. I understand this was obviously an accident, a giant, you know, freak thing of a shipping container hitting a support beam. But in my head, I'm like, okay, they don't do very good maintenance or, you know, checking to make sure everything's good on anything in certain areas. You know, buildings, bridges, roads, anything. Nothing really, I feel like, gets inspected in my mind to a way that gives me that peace of mind of it's all good. And because of that, I'm always like, do I trust this? Do I trust this looks shady. This looks like a shady old bridge. And I just I get the same thoughts too sometimes in certain like subterranean things of like old, maybe like an old train station or old parking structure where I'm like, how do they know? And I guess that's just my distrust in other people and and the system and safety. I am honestly surprised that like things don't collapse more. Just kind of feel like things are just staying up because it's just luck. I understand that most things are supposed to be designed well to stay up. But even those things, like how materials used and versus like how long are they expected to hold up? Some of these buildings are over 100 years old. How long? Very mathematical equation that they use for material, like to figure out for how much they are degrading over time, or is this all just kind of like hope you'll see issues and kind of fix them as you see them? That seems more like more human. The latter. But yeah, good luck getting me over a bridge, especially one over water, anytime soon. There's got to be something like really, really good on the other side of that bridge, because otherwise I'm just gonna be like. And I understand a lot of times in a lot of places, including Baltimore being one of those places, there's no like way around. Like you'd be like an extra 2 hours to go around. Yeah, I don't see myself taking these bridges by choice. I'm just not going to opt right now. I'm going to be avoiding them, as irrational as it may sound. That is my fear, being submerged in a vehicle in water. This might sound absolutely crazy, but if I had like more free time right now, and maybe I will in the future, I know there's like people and places that kind of train people what to do in that situation, and even how like acted out. I'm on this weird I'm on this weird thing right now. I'm trying to like face all my other fears. So like my fear of being upside down, my things with handstands and that like disoriented feeling. I have no fears of death, honestly. I just don't. I would prefer it to be further down the line. Obviously, like my family's in their late 90s still going around. I'd love that. Maybe not 90, but you know, somewhere up there. But when it comes to like a fear of it, no. Your time's your time, but except for when it comes to being submerged in the water, because it's all that process leading up to that, which I just don't want to deal with it. I don't want to experience that. There must be like some place or group that literally like teaches you what to do in that situation and even puts you in that situation, you know, a controlled version of that. And I'm like willing to do that I honestly am. It would be, this is like a form of torture for myself, but I'd honestly do that just so I don't feel this fear anymore. Because I don't like it. Even though it's a thing, like I want to know what to do. I want to experience it, hopefully live through it in that controlled environment, and then be like, yes, I don't think about this every time and we can go over a bridge again. Or maybe it'll be so traumatic that I never like even go into the car or look at water again. I don't know. But that's like one day I'm doing that. Finding a place to near drown me and get out. And learn to get out of my car. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe for more of my stuff. You guys rock, and see you next time. Bye. Be careful on bridges.